Hello, everybody. It's Marcy from wavesofcommunication.com. And today I'm doing a video where I'm getting real. I have seen a lot of activity over on Facebook in the groups where parents are looking for resources to help their kids start talking. And I know that there is no therapy going on right now. I know that schools are closed. Here in Florida, where I live, they have officially closed the in-person schools until the end of the year. And telesessions are what people are left with. I know that there are folks who are frustrated because they are not seeing any kind of progress, and they are turning to supplements to see if they can get their kids talking. And the reason that I know this is because the questions that I see posted in these groups are asking those things. What can I give my child to get them talking? How much of this thing did you give your child? What brand of this thing did you give your child? What will work? What worked for you when you gave it to your child as some kind of supplement? The Nemechek protocol is a supplement regime. Fish oil and B vitamins. There are biomedical interventions that stimulate neurotransmitters that facilitate gut health. There's dietary supplements. There's diet changes. All of these things are used by some parents as what I classify as some kind of magic potion that they are tying with expectations to some kind of output of natural spoken language with their kids. And I see these posts all the time, all over Facebook, in the groups where there are parents who are dedicated to biomedical intervention, and even the groups where parents are just sharing resources, where there are other speech therapists who are hosting groups. People don't tend to ask those questions in my group because in my group I give solutions, different kinds of solutions. Now I know that there are studies, that there is research that shows that when you give a child these supplements, that they show some differences in their development, that they suddenly start developing things that they didn't have developed before. And in some cases, behaviors change after parents give their kids supplements like fish oil, the Nemechek protocol, things like that. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Nemechek protocol. I'm talking about chelation, ACC, camel milk, all kinds of the biomedical dietary changes that people are giving their kids in hopes that these things they give their kids will get them talking. That's what we're talking about here. And I'm talking about it a lot because I see it a lot. And for some reason, these parents believe, because of the studies or because what they read other parents or whatever, that it is these supplements that are teaching their kids talking, that are getting their kids talking, but they're wrong. They may be making your child feel better in one way or another. Maybe they are decreasing your child's sinus problems because of allergies. Maybe they're reducing allergies, these supplements, and now your child can hear better. Maybe they are helping your child's gut feel better so that their brain works better. Maybe they are, helping your child's brain process a little easier. These supplements and diet changes, eliminating things, adding more of things. Because when you change a physiology of a person, you can see changes in things like behavior and ability to develop skills, right? Kids are better at learning perhaps in many cases that are proven, and anecdotally, parents are saying that their kids have lost diagnoses because they've given them these pills. But that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this today, because when you're talking about language development, which is my area of expertise is not medicine of any kind, even in these supplements. I myself have taken supplements to help my body in one way or another, but I never ever expected those supplements that I took to help with my regulation of my stomach. Like maybe I don't tolerate dairy well, so I take a supplement to help me tolerate dairy. But I never expected that supplement to make me suddenly forever be able to drink milk without any kind of side effect in my physiology. It was affecting one part of my physiology. Even when I took medication for cholesterol, right? I took the medication and it decreased the cholesterol in my blood, but I couldn't have any expectation that taking that cholesterol medication would somehow make my body long term able to regulate the cholesterol in my body. So you would have to keep taking that pill forever and ever and ever unless you do something to change the physical reason that you have to take the pills, right? So if you take blood pressure medication, but you modify your diet to the point where you can control your medication with diet, then you don't have to take that medication anymore. But there was a reason you took it in the first place. And that's why parents give their kids these supplements. It's the reason why that they are looking for the supplement to solve the reason they're giving it. So people go on blood pressure medication because they get sick, right? And they feel bad. You know, when you have high blood pressure, it makes you physically bad and you could die from it because your body becomes ill. Your heart can't work. And when your heart doesn't work, you die. So you take pills to make your blood work differently so your heart works better and you live longer, right? But that's not how language works. Language isn't a physical thing that you can just turn a light switch and change by adapting your physical body. If you couldn't hear and now you can hear because you got hearing aids or because you started taking medicine that cleared up your allergies and that were clogging your ear and now you can hear again, then that's going to help you learn language. But the hearing doesn't teach you to talk. It just helps you learn. So when you're giving your child these biomedical things, then you have to understand that they are going to fix your child's body. But it is you and stimulation to the right kind of language models and your child's ability or interest in attending to those models. That is what teaches your child language. That's what helps them move from being nonverbal to verbal. It's not the fish oil. It's what they perceived and learned after they took the fish oil. It's what was taught to them. So I promise you, these parents who are seeing amazing results with their kids after they are giving them the biomedical information to their body, they're giving them supplements, they're introducing that information, the physical information to their body. At the same time, they're giving their brain and their language processing system the information needed to be able to process the language that you are offering to them. and now that they can attend better and focus better, maybe because they've taken these supplements, what you're providing them is what's more important. So just like every other video, I don't want to just talk about what not to do. And I'm not saying don't give your child biomedical intervention. I'm just saying that you will be very disappointed in the long run if you expect to have these biomedical things get your child talking. And if you're using biomedical intervention like the Nemechek protocol or chelation or ACC or camel milk or whatever, with your intent, you're giving that thing to your child and you are intending for that thing to get your child talking, then you're missing your role in this. Your role to give the child the supplement is just all about the supplement in their physical body. But there are 5 other things. I've got 5 things that you as a parent can do without any supplements, or while you're using supplements, or, before, during, and after. Because remember, if you're using the supplements with the idea that the supplement is what is getting your child talking, then you'll never be able to stop ever giving them these supplements. And the strategies I'm about to give you will change not only your child's physiology, but it will change your child's processing neurological system in functional development. And that is what long-term will teach your child language. So the first thing, pay attention to their physiology, right? Pay attention to why they are sick. Pay attention to what caused that illness, right? Is it something they are eating? Is it something in the environment? Is it something that, what's causing them to not be well or feel well? That would be the reason that you would give somebody a physical supplement. What about their body is unwell? How do you know that? Okay. If you are not working with a practitioner to holistically analyze your child, then you can't even know if these supplements are going to help you with the problems that you have. Hey, Laura, thanks for joining me. If you have a question today and you're joining me live, you can go ahead and post it in the comments. But I'm kind of on a rant today. I'm talking about this supplement stuff and why I know parents are turning to these supplements because your kids are home with you and you're experiencing all the good, the bad, and the ugly, and probably a lot more of the bad and the ugly because your kids are not happy about not being out and about. They're not happy about not seeing their friends and their teachers and their therapists, and you're not happy about, frankly, having a break from them so that someone else can teach them for a change instead of you having to do it all the time. And you might be using applications like the Gemini program or ABC Mouse or something like that to help teach your child. And maybe the thing that you feel like you can do is to give your child some kind of supplement, change their diet, give them pills, do all that stuff. Because as a mom, you're not a teacher, a therapist, a blah, 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 but you can give your child food and supplements. And maybe that's how you feel that you can do it, right? From a physiological standpoint, all you need to do is make sure your child is getting through every day, one day at a time. Don't worry about their physical development unless they're having challenges with their living. If they are not regulating their body, they can't stay warm, they're not eating enough, they're not, the things that keep you alive, right? During this time of no functional education system, your number one role always as a mom is with your child's physical well-being here and now today. Are they healthy today? Are they bleeding? Are they injured? Are they well? Are they eating? Are they sleeping? These are the things that you need to focus on. And if these supplements help you focus on those rudimentary things, eating, sleeping, being calm, regulated, all of that stuff, then that's what those supplements help you with. But the number 2 thing that you can do if you are working with a doctor and you're doing that biomed, that's number 1. Number 2 is the relationship that you have with your child and these medications and these supplements. If Giving these supplements is causing more problems than they are benefiting. I know that there are side effects that happen if you are going weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks with what somebody else is calling side effects, and they are not dissipating after 2 or 3 weeks at the most with your biomed, then you're fooling yourself. Those things that you think are being caused by these supplements are not. They're coming from something else. And just keeping giving these things 3 weeks time is enough for your child's body to adapt to these things getting in there. And you have to be okay with your relationship with these things to be not dependent on them. Remember, it is not these things that are teaching your child to talk, it's you. And if you are so worried that your child won't take these things, that all your life is focused on these things, these medicines, these supplements, and he won't take it, and I have to hold him down, and we're fighting about these things, I promise you, those supplements, unless it is a life and death medical situation where your child must receive that thing, it is never a good idea, because just the administration of the supplement is doing more damage to the relationship that you need with your child to teach them language than it is helping their physiological body, because the anxiety that's coming on top of forcing them to take those meds is breaking down your opportunities to teach language. Your child will learn, if you are doing proper language facilitation and you're forcing your kid to take biomeds, then you would be talking about how bad that situation is, how your child does not like it, and that you have to do it anyway, and that you got to be making it as fun as possible. Otherwise, you are breaking the rules of language facilitation, where if it isn't fun, it isn't fun. So think hard about your relationship with these meds, these biomeds. If you are so reliant on them for your worry about your child's future that you have to fight with your child to take them, it is time to reconsider and look for something else, all right? Because always you as a mama can facilitate the relationship with your child, and it's necessary before you can teach any kind of language. Do not break it over what you read on the internet about somebody who got their kid talking from giving them fish oil and camel milk, okay? Don't break your relationship with your child over these things. It's not worth it, and it's the long game, because you're not teaching your child language, right? No supplement can replace language teaching. They don't teach language. It would be if we could take a pill and learn a foreign language, right? All the teachers who teach foreign language would be out of business. We'd take the Chinese pill or the Italian pill. And as long as we were taking that pill, we could speak that language. But if we stopped taking that pill, then we'd stop speaking it. That's the same logic that you are using when you rely on these pills to teach your child to talk. Okay? It doesn't work that way. That's not how language develops. Yes, they can pay attention better when they're feeling better. Yes, they can focus better when they're feeling better, but they're not going to learn language without language models, okay? So number 3 is, okay, once you have a relationship with your child, remember there's still no teaching going on, because you still have to make their physical body feel better and establish their relationship. And the other thing that you can do to help your child learn to talk without biomedical or with biomedical is make sure that their needs are met outside of these physical problems that you're trying to cure. If you are giving a supplement to cure a physical thing, we need to know what are the symptoms of that physical thing. And if there are things that are unrelated, you need to address those too. And most of the time it's sensory issues and emotional issues, and they mix together, because when kids' sensory issues are unregulated, I always say it's like a very fine point, and you're always balancing to try to find the right way for your child to attend. Sometimes these supplements help maintain that balance, because without them, the child's chemical system is too far off and they're way off balance. The biomed can help a child stay more balanced, but you might need to pay more attention to the sensory, the physiological, experiential sensory needs that they have. You can't meet a child's need to move by giving them a pill. You need to let them move, okay? And if you're restricting your child just because you can't go outside, but you're not providing some gross motor, heavy work inside your house, playing with blankets, going through tunnels, climbing under the bed, if you cannot go outside and walk around the block and you're not doing that with your child because you're scared or whatever, then you're going to see problems that come out of your child's need to have that physical movement. And you're not going to solve those problems by giving your child biomedical, right? You have to solve the problems with the solutions that match them. And that is all of your child's needs. And that's not just their physical needs, it's their emotional needs. Do they need to have friends, contact with friends? Do they need to talk to their teacher? You'll know who they're missing by how they're communicating with you, and what you know about them. If you know that they adore their teacher, then their teacher probably has already been reaching out to you. But in a moment of child's need, that's when you as a mom need to go back and reach out. So, hi Karam, thanks for joining me today. We're talking about meeting a child's needs that to teach them language and why these biomedical things don't do it. Parents do it. So, but what you can do is you can meet their needs by the activities and the things that you do. So you have to pay attention to the child's needs. If they need to move, you've got to do things that include movement. Often, more often than you're used to, because remember, if your child went to school, somebody else was helping you take care of those needs for your child. They were educating them, they were entertaining them, they were keeping their attention, they were facilitating focus, they were doing all that stuff. Maybe those weren't the academic things, the things that they send home to you for you to do are just the assignments, really. What you have to figure out is how to work with your child. And these are the things that you can learn when you follow the strategies in my program, right? Because number 4, the thing that you must have in place that you can do, that it doesn't matter whether you have biomedical intervention or no biomedical intervention, you must have, in addition to a good relationship with your child where they are listening and focusing on you, you need to provide them with language models, the right language models, the right words, the right way, at the right time. And those are always the words your child wants to hear in a way that is not condescending, that is attractive, that is interesting, and that is spoken in a way that your child can process language, and at the right time is in the moment. We're not teaching piles of vocabulary with books and flashcards. We're teaching the sort of unit vocabulary, the concept vocabulary around the experiences. Because if you are doing some kind of play with toys, that's one set of vocabulary. If you're getting dressed, it's another set of vocabulary. If you're cooking in the kitchen, it's a different set of vocabulary. And you work on the vocabulary in the moment, the right time, the right words, the words your child would want to say, the right way, in a way they can listen and process, and they want to listen and process. The right time is in the moment. That's what a language facilitator does. And it doesn't matter if you are giving your child supplements or not. That kind of language model to your child that is attractive is what it takes to teach them to talk. That's it. These medications, these supplements will, if you're dependent on them to do the job, it's never going to happen without these models. And what usually is happening in those moms and dads who are posting that their kids are making this great improvement, maybe it's the dad who's posting, but the mom is talking her head off with the kid and facilitating language and talking all kinds of wonderful language models in between. And they're not talking about that. They're talking about the fact that this pill worked. And it's misleading to another mom who has a child who's not even interested in focusing on her at all and is so overwhelmed emotionally by pressure and prompting and all of that kind of stuff that they just aren't interested in talking. And that's where number 5 comes from, and it's expectations. You can control your expectations. You don't have to give your child fish oil or other supplements when you can modify your teaching methods. Because if you are expecting your child to continually demonstrate their learning to you, and that means you're asking them questions, and that means you're prompting them to do things, touch this, do this, follow this direction, here's a multi-step direction, trying to get them to do things and say things all day long. If you're doing that with your child and they're not responding to that stuff, and you think it's because of them, that they don't know, because they know these words, how come they're not saying them when you want? Let's give them some fish oil and that's going to make them want to say words. No. They're not doing those things because they're resistant. And all you can do to change that is limit your expectations. If you don't expect your child to say X amount of words by a certain date, and you do what I just said before, model the right words the right way at the right time, now you have the time to do that all day, every day. This is how you see improvement. You don't need to worry if the Amazon guy hasn't delivered your fish oil yet, because you don't need fish oil for these strategies to see improvement. Even in the most severe child who has had vaccine injury and they're toxed out by all of that stuff, I have been working these strategies with people who were at the beginning of their biomedical work. And they started these things, and these strategies, functional language facilitation strategies, took them a lot farther, way after they ran out of one supplement, or they shifted over to a new brand, or they did whatever. They were still using language facilitation, and those biomedical things go out the window. They're never long-term. If you are looking to them to be your solution, it's your expectation that is broken here, not your child's speech mechanism that's going to be fixed. It's your expectation. And when you shift your expectation and provide the right kind of action to help your child go every day, this is how you will move forward. So Karam says, a few days back, I asked you about my son who is so confused about pronouns, I and you. Okay, so that's a great question. Karam, the working on pronouns is not going to happen in a structured situation. Kids who mix up pronouns are using language that is memorized. They have your son, if he's using a lot of language and he's using them on his own, what he's doing is imitating the phrase that he heard a lot that prompted him to get what he wanted. Somebody said, what do you want? And he said, I want something. And then he got that thing, right? But what he heard that was the trigger of it's time for cookies now is, do you want? So he confuses the do you want phrase with it's cookie time, and what do I have to say to get a cookie to arrive to me? It doesn't really mean do and you and want. It is a memorized phrase of what he heard that he's trying to say to you. All kids who use inappropriate mean not grammatically correct. If they use the wrong words or the wrong way at the wrong time, right? Because remember, with language facilitation, we model the right words the right way at the right time so kids learn how to do it. But if they're using the wrong words, like the wrong pronouns, or the wrong way. Like maybe they're asking and they're saying, do you want instead of I want. It means that they have not had the right words, the right way at the right time models. And they're memorizing what they heard before as a behavior to get you to guess that they are asking you for a cookie, because they know when they know it's not right when they say, do you want a cookie, when they want one and they're asking you for it. That's why it gets confused. Now, how you work on that is by what I just said. You have to model the right words the right way at the right time. So when you are modeling language during your fun times, the activities that you do together, the times that your child would be asking, then you want to recast anything your child says incorrectly in the correct way. So let's say your child is bringing you the cookies. You absolutely know they want cookies because they're holding it. They reach it out to you and they say, do you want a cookie? Triggering you to guess that they want a cookie. And it means, of course, may I have a cookie, please? Or I want a cookie now, or I think it's cookie time. I mean, it could mean any of those things depending on what kind of language you use in your house. But that's what you would say. Oh, you think it's cookie time now. You want a cookie. Okay, so I want a cookie, and that you would be like, I think it's a good idea to have a cookie now, and I will give you a cookie, instead of saying I want a cookie because you don't want one. That's not accurate. It was just confusing for your child to recast exactly what they should say, unless it is totally wrong. Like if they say, I want a cootie instead of cookie, then you would recast and say, oh, I hear you want a cookie. Cookie is what you want. Okay, I will give you a cookie. Mommy will give Joey a cookie. And so I used that sentence, I and you, appropriately in the right time, where the pronoun was the one that was messed up. I understood the word, but I didn't stop the activity to say, no, you said it wrong. Fix it and say it right, and then I'll give you the cookie. Because he didn't even know, he just wanted the cookie. Ultimately, all of that other stuff, wait, fix it, change it around, is blah, 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 blah. Because he came to you with the cookie because he wants the cookie. It's all about him and it's all about what he wants. Don't worry about what your child says incorrectly. Just model the right words the right way at the right time. Don't stop them. Don't correct them. They're going to do it wrong. They're new at it. If they were nonverbal or they were using scripted language before and now they're starting to talk, then they're going to mess it up. And you don't want to catch them. Nobody who's trying something new wants to be told, no, that's wrong. Oh, you did that one wrong again. Oh, you said the wrong word again. Oh, that's not the right pronoun. You hear that because think about how many times you prompt your child throughout the day. If every time you prompted them, you didn't get the right answer, which probably happens a lot, especially nowadays, because kids are over it. They don't want to be prompted. Nobody does. Nobody wants to be asked questions throughout your day. And parents are starting to panic because their kids aren't in school and they feel like they're not learning. So they've got to double down and be teachers and parents and try to teach. And it's not working for people. It's not working for people. And they're turning to the fish oil. Don't do it. You don't have to. Just dial it back and make it easier. Okay, just dial it back and make it easier. So that's it. With pronouns, it's all about language models, conversational language models. So Karam, you can find those videos here on my YouTube channel. Look for the one about conversational language modeling. And you can start conversational. In fact, you should start conversational language models even before you focused on the needs-based stuff. If you have a child who's doing a lot of I want whatever, or they just say one word for whatever, they're already using the needs-based language. They've got a system in place already. You trying to change that system and work on that needs-based stuff, that exchange-based stuff, is going to backfire on you. This is a really great tip for every parent who has an older kid who already has some needs-based language. Abandon it. Give them what they want when they want it. Model the language for it. If they can't have what they want, then you deal with that then. Don't worry about any more exchange-based whatever. I promise you, they know the words for the things that they want. They just don't know how to use them. So when they come to you and request the things they want, just give them the language, talk nicely through the process, use the right words the right way at the right time, and this will help you. But it's not a time to work. Do not make your child work for things in your house. It's going to backfire on you in the long term, and you're going to undo any of the good working that you did before. And you're not going to fix that with fish oil either, because that's your relationship that's damaged here. Nobody wants to be pressured all day. So what you're going to do instead is you're going to focus your language model efforts when you really are like a conscious language facilitator only during fun times, when you know your child is already there, focused and looking and interested in what you are doing. And it doesn't matter what that is. If you're pouring water in the bathtub, if you are doing dishes, if you are crawling under the chair, whatever, it doesn't matter. It must be fun. If it isn't fun, it isn't fun. And your child's not going to want to do it. And you're just going to be fighting over that. And no learning will happen. And unless you get over this expectation of something outside of you and your language models is going to get your child talking, you're going to hold up the process. Listen, now you are home. You are with your child. Nobody else is there. You can teach them however you want. Don't worry about time frames. Don't worry about how soon things are coming back, or when, or what was teachers going to say about me. Don't worry about any of that. Today, you have your child in front of you today. You have the opportunity to work on these things. Make sure they have what they need to be healthy. Make sure they feel good emotionally. And if those things don't happen, go back to that. And once you get those things, then you got to meet their needs for fun. Whatever they want to do to have fun, meet their needs for fun. If they want to move, if they want, find a way. That's your job. This fish oil is not going to help your child feel better if they need to run around. Only running around is going to make them feel better, right? So you got to get out and run around. You just got to do it. If you want to survive all this on your own long term, because that's what these strategies here, not fish oil or supplements, is what gets you to the other side of this pandemic lockdown with a child who has learned more things and not just without your hair left because you've pulled out your hair and you're all beat up and bloody and your house is torn apart. Because the fish oil is not going to stop that either. And your ABA person's there not to, corral this stuff. It's all up to you. And it's all about taking it easy now. Dial it back. You have the time. You have weeks. Even if you have to think about it for 4 weeks. Unless you live in a very tiny town in the USA, you are not going outside. Or Norway or Sweden, you're not going outside. You're not going back to school. You can go out in your neighborhood. It's not going to happen. Okay. This is your time. This is your time to do it. So Laura says, it works perfectly. My 3-year-old has come a long way since October. For sure, Laura, that is so true. And we're having so much fun every day, more new words emerging. Yeah. And Laura's one of those moms. I just had another meeting yesterday morning with a mom from India who has a child who's 11, and she is secretly wishing that the lockdown happens and stays for a really long time because her work's been modified by it. She's a doctor and she's got limited hours at the hospitals. So they are accommodating her to be able to be home with her child. So she is teaching, her and her husband are getting more language. Her son is 11 and still nonverbal primarily. And new language is starting to come from him. They are riding out this time. And she said, I just hope it lasts a really long time before the schools open again, because for the first time, she's in control And she's doing it her way. And there's no pressure from the outside world for, we've got to meet goals and we've got to do so many repetitions. And if we don't get enough repetitions, he's going to forget what he learned. Not with functional language facilitation. With functional language facilitation, it builds on itself like a snowball. When you get the snowball packed at the beginning, it just builds on. The language builds on, and that's how it works, okay? These things, these supplements, they're not going to help you get to where you need to get. You can, though, and it doesn't cost you anything right now to start with language facilitation with these tips that I gave you in this video. And if you want more, you can get more. And look, since you're all watching now and you made it till the end, I'm going to tell you about a deal, a secret deal if you haven't found this yet. April 26th, it's this next Sunday, for one day only on Amazon, the Kindle version of my book. This is my book. If it isn't fun, it isn't fun. Teach your child to talk faster than speech therapy in India and in UK and in the USA. Those 3 platforms, Amazon is offering a daily deal, a one-day only deal, where you can get the Kindle version of my book for $1.99. I don't know how many that is in rupees. Not many, okay? $1.99, less than $2. You can learn how to do this. That is cheaper than one day of biomedical intervention, right? One day of fish oils and B vitamins, right? By the time you give all those supplements and all that stuff, you can learn how to do it, and you have time to learn it now. The Kindle version is there. You can download it on the 26th for $1.99. The paperback book is $22 and the Audible is $14, and this is regularly $9.99. So this is the deal. Amazon thought this title was important enough right now during this pandemic time that it said, we're going to offer your book for cheap for people. This came from Amazon. It wasn't even me that initiated this. Amazon came to me to say, your book is resourceful and we want to have it available to people at a discount price. So we're going to make you discount it. And I didn't even have a choice. It started with India and then it moved to UK and US too. So 26th of April, it's a Sunday. Time's been adjusted for everybody across the world. $1.99 for this book. So you can learn how to do this yourself. You can learn how to do it yourself. So, Laura says, that's amazing about your book. Your book is amazing. Laura, that's how Laura started. She started with the book and then she upgraded into the independent study program, and she's been doing it on her own. You know, it's been amazing. So, yep, your book is amazing and started my daughter and I on our language facilitation journey. Wow, amazing steal. That's right, everybody. On the 26th, mark your calendar, starting at midnight on the 26th, wherever you are, you'll be able to access the title for $1.99 on the 26th. Because I know it's important for people to have the resources. It's different. Language facilitation is different than withholding objects, prompting your kids. It's different than everything from day one you probably have heard from your child's speech therapist. Unless they are a language facilitator or a floor time person, they're still telling you to somehow motivate your child to talk with some kind of incentive, right? And it's true. Kids do need an incentive to talk. They absolutely do. But I have found that the long-term solution that will motivate a child to talk is not anything you can touch. It's fun. It's experiences with the people that they love, where they're creating things and solving problems together and enjoying life while they're eating, while they're looking at animals, while they're riding in the car, these are the times that will help you teach your child to talk. It's not going to be any kind of supplement. It's you. You're the best language facilitators. Every parent is the best language facilitator. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today. So I hope you take advantage of the resources. You can always check out everything on my platform. It's wavesofcommunication.com to learn how to access all of my parent coaching programs. Join me over on Facebook and Instagram as well with daily blog posts and information, testimonials from parents, and just really everything you need to get your child with language facilitation. So Laura says thank you, and I'm going to say thank you to all of you. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for your effort with your kids to get them talking, because I know it takes you. I can't do it. I learned after 30 years of speech therapy that I'm not nearly as effective as a parent is, and I'm certainly not nearly as effective as a parent teaching their child with fun, right? Okay, this is it for now. Have a great week, everybody. This is Monday, getting started on a whole new week of language facilitation. I'll see you Thursday over on Facebook for my next live Q&A. And until my next video, bye for now.